I want to rank the 10 commandments. I think this might be the dumbest idea I've ever had, admittedly. I don't know if when they made the 10 commandments, they were intended to be pitted against one another. But today we're going to be ranking the 10 commandments. I guess I should rename the ranks. Applicable. I'm gonna put retire the jersey. If you end up in retire the jersey, I don't think you should be active anymore as one of the 10 commandments. This one's gonna be like generally good. So it's gonna be things that are generally good to keep in mind, but maybe aren't applicable to everybody, or maybe needs to be reworded. Well, B tier, if you're not generally good, you're probably all right. If you're worse than all right, but you don't need to be retired, it's like applicable to few, but still some. So starting off with commandment number 1, you shall have no other gods before me. I think that out of the gate, I think this one's cringe. I think no other god, truthfully, I think when he made that one, maybe it was a little self-indulgent. Maybe number 1 is a little self-indulgent, because number 1 is supposed to be the most important one. If I was making the 10 commandments, personally, I would make number 1 we'll get to later, you shall not murder. That one feels pretty important, not having no other gods before me. Maybe a little self-centered. And I think, to be honest, commandment number 2 is kind of the same. You shall not make idols. What are we talking about here? I can't make something to idolize God. So first, I can only have one God, and now I can't have any items to idolize in the name of God? What are we doing, man? How am I supposed to do anything without idols, with only one God? These two feel very self-indulgent to me. I think these two, we got to put the jerseys up in the rafters. So far, if it was up to me, we're down to 8 commandments. All right? You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Okay, so I know what this one means. It means don't say God damn it. It means don't say for the love of God. It's the one that I feel like it's one of the ones that everybody knows. It's a classic commandment. 1 and 2, bit of sleeper picks, right? If somebody tells you you're breaking commandment number 6, you pretty much know what that one is. If somebody tells you you're breaking commandment 3, you might need a refresher, but you understand where they're coming from. Commandments 1 and 2 are sleepers. To me, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. I think it's applicable to few. I think we live in a world where some people, not many, but some people will still refrain from using the Lord's name in vain. If you've been watching the stream or my YouTube for any period of time, you know I'm a goddamn it enjoyer. All right? When the rubber hits the road, I'll throw out a goddamn it, a son of a bitch, a holy shit. I think it's a little antiquated in a modern day, but for the most part, it's close to retire the jersey. It's close to being cringe, but not quite. We're not there yet. Commandment number 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. For those of you that don't know, the day of the Sabbath is Sunday. So it's saying keep Sunday as the day of the Lord. Now, when I was a wee little lad, I was baptized a Catholic. I know the day of the Sabbath. That was the extent of my experience in the church, was being baptized. But famously, I've said before, maybe several times, that Sunday is the Lord's day and I wouldn't stream on the Lord's day. So I feel like for that reason, I can't put it cringe because I use it as a reason to not stream on Sunday. Now, do I keep Sunday, the day of the Sabbath, holy? No. That being said, I think this is an all right one. I think this is an all right commandment. I don't think it's applicable to few, but not many. but I think it's all right. It's less self-indulging than no other god before me. He's saying, hey man, just give me like 1 day out of the week. That's okay. That's compromise. To me, that shows that from commandments 1 and 2 to commandment 4, he had 3 to think about it. He thought about it, and he's willing to compromise now. And I'm willing to go there with him. I think remember the Sabbath is all right. I think remember the Sabbath is all right with me. Remember especially because half of it is so easy. Half of it is just remember what day the Sabbath is, which is Sunday. Boom, you're halfway there. The other half, admittedly, I think if you put it on a like effort scale, I think half 2 exponential increase. I think half 2 keep it holy, maybe a little harder for most, myself included, but I mean, remember it. That's easy, man. I can do that any day of the week. Any day of the week I can remember the Sabbath. I know what day of the week the Sabbath is. It's Sunday. The next one I have questions on. Commandment number 5 is honor your father and your mother. So we got to figure out what this one means. So does it mean like just showing them respect? It means to abide by them and show appreciation for what they have done. For this one, I think honor your father and your mother is generally good. I think generally, depending on your circumstances, you should honor your father and your mother. That being said, I'm aware there are some circumstances where maybe mother and father don't need honor, don't deserve honor. That's why it's not S tier. Faithful commandment number 6. Thou shall not murder. I think this one's cringe. I don't think we have to make this a commandment, like realistically, but realistically, I think not murdering is kind of a cringe commandment. I don't know why we made that one of the 10. I don't know why we took up 10% of the space for not murdering. No, I think low-key everybody should be doing this one. You shall not murder is a banger. I think when he got to low-key, when we got to 6, we started cooking. It took a little while for the oven to preheat, but once we hit number 6, we started cooking a little bit. I think these next 4, low-key, certified bangers. I think you shall not murder. I think that's a banger. I think that's probably one of the more important commandments. Commandment number 7, you shall not commit adultery. Generally good. Here's why I say generally good and everybody should be doing this low-key. Is because I'm trying to think of people as a whole. So you have to think polyamory. You have to think open relationships. I don't think it's fair to put it in everyone should be doing this one low-key and make them feel bad when they're in an open relationship. Adultery, definitionally, married person sleeping with not married person. Or person they're not married to. That's just an open relationship. I say, let your freak flag fly. Number 8, you shall not steal. I think this is another one that's generally good. I don't think this is everyone should be doing this low key. I think this one might be a hot take. I'm realizing I might not get into the conclave with this one. I think most of the conclave, to be honest, would agree with my rankings so far. I think this is the one that would get me kicked out of the conclave and voting for the new pope if I was... When they go looking for bishops, my name's going to pop up on the list, and then they're going to watch this VOD and be like, okay, he's cooking until we get to number 8. You shall not steal, generally good. Here's my explanation. If you're stealing from a corporation, a big one, I don't think it matters that much. I think at the pearly gates, we can let those ones slide, okay? And I think sometimes, depending on your material circumstances, maybe a little bit of theft is necessary to make sure that you can have food on your plate. And I think for those reasons, we can let someone through the pearly gates even if they have thieved. Now, if you're stealing for the love of the game, that's a different thing. We should probably talk about that, go to confession, right? But if it's for a good reason, like you stole a box of cereal so your kid could have breakfast, maybe we turn a little blind eye, you know? Let it slide. I don't know, though. I'm not the guy at the pearly gates saying pass or don't pass. I'm just giving you my 2 cents. I think generally it's good, but there are some situations where maybe it's called for. Commandment number 9. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. So when I was making the tier list, I had to Google what this one means, because I didn't know what this meant. It means don't defame people. It means don't lie about thy neighbor, i.e. other people, for the love of the game. I think this one everyone should be doing. I don't think we need to be throwing out false accusations about people in any situation. So I think this one is one that everyone should be doing. I think everyone should be not lying about people. I think we should maybe even show a little more grace to our fellow man. Also, I was shocked. This is okay. Before today, I didn't know love thy neighbor wasn't a commandment. Is this news to anybody else? Because it was news to me that love thy neighbor isn't one of the commandments. I thought those were commandments. Pause the Sonic music. This is not a joke. I thought love thy neighbor was one of the 10 commandments. In my head, the commandments were like the 10 things that you should like follow no matter what. And like be nice to people feels like one of them. But that is all to say, I think you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor is probably one of the better commandments. For sure. For sure. I think low-key, everyone should be not bearing false witness against thy neighbor. I think that's a good one. Finally, commandment number 10, you shall not covet. So I had to Google what covet means. Because my only experience, I guess you could say, with the word covet was the move in Pokemon. And I was assuming that maybe in a world where we only have 10 commandments, one of them isn't about Pokemon. I was willing to make that assumption. I was right. You shall not covet means do not yearn for what is not yours. It's pretty much saying, if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, who fucking cares? Make your grass greener, buddy. I think this one's alright. I think this one's an okay commandment, personally. Here's why I think it's just okay. Because I think sometimes it's helpful to be envious of others and their things to kind of motivate yourself. Like some people, that's the kick in the ass thing. Some people simply are motivated that way. Who am I to tell them that they're wrong? So in conclusion, I think the goated commandments are don't murder, don't lie about other people. I think the ones that are generally good but might not be applicable to everybody are don't do adultery, don't steal, honor your mother and father. I think the ones that are okay are remember the Sabbath and keep it holy, and to not covet. I think the ones that some people can still follow but are generally not accepted, or like generally are irrelevant, are you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. And then I think the ones that are cringe are no other God before me and you shall not make idols. This is this is my ranking of the 10 commandments. It is final. This won't look good at the Golden Gates. Probably not.